So let's just look at a situation here where we're in an outside Ashi position. You could be in a 50-50, but I'd have to watch that Brandon could possibly toe hold me or attack his foot. So we're using this, and we need to be able to stand up, get points. We want to force Brandon to a bad position. So first things first, maybe I don't have a great ankle lock position, but I'm keeping my weight aside and I'm making sure that he can't take my back. If I'm lazy with this foot, he's going to have the ability to take my back. That's where, again, getting in on a good Achilles grip. If you were to try to scoot up and in to grab my back, I can always use that to put some pressure on as well. The other side of this too is you'll see that he's starting to even post with that left hand because he's ultimately looking to grab my back, grab around me, and reach up. When I feel that, I can use this to create distance. I'm a little bit bigger than Brandon, so I'm going to use more of my upper body to reach. But if I was somebody smaller, I would use more of my hips to kind of reach back and try to create some distance. So let's say Brandon has a grip on me, even in the gi, like you can have collar grip, whatever grip you want. You see that he's posting on his left. I can use this to post and reach back. When I'm able to do that, I can now grab at Brandon's toe. So even if he's trying to chase my back and come up, I can use this to extend away. Now I can start to get to that center chest position again. Now, when I'm ready to go, if I need to clear this grip, I can always collapse this inside and push this through. You'll see that again, I'm covering his toes because now if he wants to try to sit up into me, it becomes impossible to do that because I can always push this away. Once I get to that spot, I can go ahead and use two hands if I needed to create distance, but I can also take that as he comes to try to sit up towards me, is use my right leg to kind of kick forward to kick his arm out. When I'm there, now I'm gonna pass this through and throw my uppercut again. Well, it's gonna be kind of hard to throw an uppercut up, so I have to throw an uppercut down towards the mat. Once I get to this spot, I'm starting to create this pinch position. So now this is going to allow me to start to kind of come up. I'm not even going to use my other hand to cover for right now because this hand is always going to keep the ability for me to post. I need the ability to build height at my hips or my shoulders. Now, if Brandon tries to sit it back up into me right now, go ahead. That allows me to force back into that uppercut. You feel a lot of pressure going into that. The other nice thing that you'll see is now my elbow's kind of inside of my hip. So now, at any point, I can use this as a technical lift. So if Brandon's trying to come up, grab my collar, anything else, when I go to come up, I can technical lift, or another way if you need to think about it, is I'm gonna turn turtle towards the camera. So I'm gonna have Jared slide back just a couple steps. So when I go to come up, if he's trying to come towards me, I come up, and I even just try to get my foot back, even if I got a little stuck. When I get to here, more often than not, somebody's gonna think, well, I can bring the leg over the top. I can look at going 50-50. I can shoot my foot through to kind of get into a position where you can invert. For Brandon to try to kick this leg through right now, out, like kick it through my armpit, not towards me, kick it through the armpit. It puts way too much pressure and you feel a lot on the foot. So naturally, the other side of this too is maybe he now starts to bring his right foot onto my hip to start to like try to create an angle and look at either inverting or controlling this leg. So you're gonna see Brandon with like an overwrap, like and controlling at my calf, and he's doing a great job of that because he can't create so much distance. He could look at making underhook grip and getting in that way and getting all the way on his side, get all the way on your side. But he'll tell you this, the minute he turned on his side, where did you feel that? More so
My knee.
Because again, his hip has to turn that way. So you almost kind of take the bait out of that, even if I were to stand up a little bit, and then I could get a little bit better height. Lastly, let's go back to that overwrap position again. A lot of this stuff, people are gonna think, well, I can invert and come towards you. Well, again, for him to invert, he has to spin his legs all the way through. So he could even look at like a shadow hook, take that behind my leg and try to kick me this way. Well, if he goes to kick me this way, now he's actually still putting more pressure on. So that's where you have to be aware of, he can create some distance and space, but then I can make the decision, do I want to re-fortify? Do I want to go to rear naked choke grip? Out of this, I can still hit a rotational finish, or I can just drive up into that uppercut. The other thing with this too, though, is that if I feel him trying to come in, like to finish the lock, or try to do anything, now I can go ahead and stand up. Maybe I'm just looking to pass. Once I get that, I can push that back through secure my pass, get my points, or get him to turn away again. The idea of this lock and this setup is if he takes the bait, he gets punished and then either gets submitted on his foot, the ankle, or the knee, or it allows me to go ahead and pass his guard, or ultimately even start to take his back, because the crossing concept of this, for him to try to play guard, naturally he wants to get his knees facing back towards me, but we're pinning his hip and part of his body in a way that anatomically, if he does that, it's going to put him in a spot that's actually going to compromise one or multiple joints.